So I'm starting a new series called College Chaos because my first semester of college at VCU was chaos. This video, I will be just spilling my guts out to you, telling you the mistakes I made. I didn't know that time management would be so difficult. I didn't know that social life versus studying would be so difficult in the fact that I would want to hang out with my friends so much and that I wouldn't have time to do my work, especially being a fashion merchandising major. I have tons of projects. I didn't really have homework, so it required a lot more effort. It was long-term projects I had, so I would have to plan out my work more and use a calendar, which I have on my laptop. I would always write out a list of things to do, but sometimes I would procrastinate. I'm a huge procrastinator and that wouldn't really work out. I did get in trouble with the law. The first week of college, called Welcome Week, is a big party week, and we don't have classes the first 3 days that we come down. So I got in trouble with drinking, and my dad found out because I had to tell him. And I told my mom first, and she ends up telling my dad even though I told her not to. And I made that mistake because I had never been drunk before, and you know what? I screwed up and I got it over with. Now I'm doing community service at an after-school daycare for little kids in elementary school, and they come to this little program building and we just hang out with them, and it's really, really fun actually. It's the best community service I could ever ask for. I'm very lucky. College, you have to understand, if you're a high school student, college is very different. College is the real deal. It's the real life. I go to a school where when I was in high school, they said it was 32,000 kids was the population. Now, with it being in the middle of the transition, with transfer students coming and foreign exchange students coming over, there's going to be 48,000 students next semester in total. And I'm just one of them. That's real life right there. No one cares about me, really. The teachers don't care if I fail. That's real life. They don't care. Whereas in high school, if you get an F or if you miss a test, they will email your parents or they will email you and ask you, when can you make it up? In college, they're not that nice. They won't do that. You have to create a relationship with your teachers in order to have that kind of connection where they will email you and they will care, because usually you are in a couple lecture classes and they won't care about you because you're one of 50 to 200. Fortunately for me, since I'm fashion merchandising, I was in classrooms where there was only 30 kids or so it was kind of like high school where I didn't have a lot of kids in my classroom, so the teacher could pay attention to me. But I still had to come up with that relationship with my teacher where the teacher actually knew who I was instead of just being one of many. Going down to Richmond, I also changed a lot. I obviously dyed my hair a lot. I got 2 more piercings. I got a tattoo. I did fight with my roommate. We had one big blowout, but before that we were amazingly best friends, and we still are. We just had a lot of tension that was building up until the very end when we were about to leave for winter break, and we just had to let that tension out, mostly me, because I didn't do my part in letting her know how I felt. I didn't do well in one of my classes, and I really regret not trying hard enough. One of the classes I failed, actually the only class I failed, was Computers for Fashion, and I failed it because I missed a test one day, and I missed the test because I only got 2 hours of sleep and I have epilepsy, and I'm supposed to get 8 hours of sleep with having epilepsy, and I needed to get more sleep, so I thought, oh, the teacher will let me make up the test, right? Like in high school. No. Teachers won't let you make up tests. They almost never will. So that's an automatic F. And that lowered my grade for forever. That was a poor decision on my part, and I regretted it ever since. I should have withdrawn in the beginning, but I chose to stick it out and continue, and then just instead of getting a W on my transcript, I got an F. I made a lot of mistakes. I disappointed my parents, I disappointed my relatives, I disappointed my friends. I let down a few people, but I know what I need to do to change, and I will do that. I'm trying to change. This winter break, I'm taking some time to relax. I'm taking some time to reflect on what I did, the good and the bad. And this is a time that I will change, will do better next semester. I'm not going to let social life or my eating habits or my boy fetish intervene with my my academics. So just keep that in mind when you go to college. If you're already in college, then you probably know what I'm talking about. But if you're in high school, please have that focus. Don't be too focused on hanging out with your friends, because your friends should be your second priority. I, in high school, never had friends up until summer after I graduated. I had one friend senior year, and she could never hang out outside of school. So on Friday nights, instead of going out to parties, I watched movies by myself. I always did homework. That's why I was an AB student. I graduated with a 3.4 GPA. But this semester, I have a 1 point something. I feel like a failure at times. You have to know that to change, it's you that has to make the change. No one is going to change for you. No one is going to make that change but you. Thank you.